and this is one of those years where there is no question who is going number one. The draft really starts after that because Victor Wembanyama, a 7'5" player from France. And if you haven't seen this kid, you've never seen anything like him. Imagine Giannis Antetokounmpo and Kevin Durant, I guess, mixed together.
I was going to say,
because he's a 7'5" guy who with guard skills. What
I was going to say, imagine a giraffe with a French accent. That's what I was going to say.
Okay. But anyway,
that's got to be racist.
What?
He racist.
That he's a giraffe? Is that racist?
He's 7'5". He can handle the ball like a guard. He can shoot the three with terrific accuracy. He blocks shots. He can drive to the basket. He can rebound. He leads the top-level league in France, Rob, and I believe scoring and rebounding and block shots. He's easily the greatest prospect since LeBron James.
And, Chris, I'm going to say this. I know no one's going to pass on him. I mean, I'm not saying that.
Would you? I guess after you give what you're about to say, tell me that.
Yes. I'm just, you got to be leery because of the history of big men in the NBA and their issues. And I'm not putting it out there trying to say he's going to get hurt, Chris. He's, 7'5". It's always foot and ankle and leg situations. Let me give you a couple guys over the years. Yao Ming, foot and ankle, played 8 seasons. Greg Oden had a knee, 7 seasons. Brad Daugherty, bad
and really,
back.
Oden didn't even play that long.
No, Chris. He was around, but he didn't play.
Right.
Okay? Remember George Mirasan? Wasn't he with the Washington? George Mirasan, remember him?
He
back and ankles, Chris.
Pretty long little career for himself.
He played 6 seasons. Sam Bowie, who I covered in New Jersey. I love Sam. Sam is like one of my favorite people I've ever covered. 10 years, but limited. He was never, he was picked before Michael Jordan.
Right.
Bill Walton, Chris, he played 10 seasons, limited, foot, back. Was mostly known for being hurt, right? And winning that championship in Portland. Those are the things. He won a championship in Portland, he was hurt. And Joel Embiid, Chris, foot, missed the first 2.5 seasons with the Sixers. I'm not saying I wouldn't take him because if you take him,
so you would take
and
him
the kid,
one.
but if somebody was scared, I would be. They have a right to be a little afraid of such a tall guy with a skinny with a chance that that leg or that ankle or that foot. That's what scares me. Am I wrong to be scared? Am I wrong?
It feels
That's what I'm asking you.
It feels bad being scared, right? Don't you feel like, man, he hasn't been injured like that? I don't want to project that on him. But look, it is something that has dogged big men. Now, the guys he's 7'5". He was 7'3". I guess he grew a few inches because now he's like 7'5", 7'4", 7'5". And when you get to that height, Rob, you're right. Yao Ming, Sean Bradley, George Mirasan,
Sean Bradley,
Bowl, they had issues. The 7-footers you mentioned, Ilgauskas, Embiid, we obviously can all name plenty of 7-footers who haven't had these injuries.
Right, but
Shaq,
7'5".
Ewing, Olajuwon, Alonzo Moore. You can go on and on and on. Wilt Chamberlain, David Robinson, we can go on. But 7'5" is in that realm of, is he going to last? Now, I'll give his injury history, Rob. In December 2020, he had a stress fracture in his fibula. A year later, 2021, November, a finger injury, fractured a finger. That's not a concern. That can happen to anybody.
Yeah, no,
in
that's not an issue.
December, a month later, he missed 2 months with a shoulder contusion. Not No big deal. That can happen to anybody. And then last summer, he had a psoas injury. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but it is a muscle. It's a type of muscle injury. Okay. So he hasn't really had a history of foot problems. He's been playing the game since he was a young kid, and he's been playing it on the perimeter. He's been playing obviously he goes inside too, but one of the things about his development is that, and he pushed this a lot, he wanted coaches that would not limit him and would not just say because he's taller than everybody, they put him under the basket. And so he was able to do the same drills as the guards. This is kind of how they develop guys in Europe. And same drills as the guards. And, he developed tremendous ball skills, shooting, dribbling, passing, what have you. So, Rob, your concern is noted. And I'm sure every team has had discussions about it. But I'm also sure every team would take him. And I got to ask this. Go ahead.
Yeah, because they're afraid that, that's not going to happen.
I don't think it's just that you're afraid.
No, he's that kind of a talent is what I'm saying. I'm just saying he's that kind of a talent. You can't pass on him with the idea that you think he's going to get hurt. I get that. I'm just saying at 7'5" with the leg and the foot and the ankles, Chris, and playing against men and I don't know, is the NBA a little, like we talk about it all the time. These guys can't stay healthy, Chris, because you have to cover more ground now.
Right.
You're not down in the block where you're just there in a little spot. Now you're racing out to try to put up your hand for a guy shooting a three at the perimeter. This is what, these are the things that we've heard players talk about. You got to be all over the court. The wear and tear and all these guys getting hurt. I'm afraid that he'll do that because he has so much ground to cover, and he's a big guy, and the competition in the NBA is going to be better than he's ever faced. So I'm playing. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, and if the Pistons get him,
too late for that.
Who got him?
No, you're being a Debbie Downer.
Oh, me? Oh, okay.
I hear you. I would, and this doesn't mean it can't happen. But he doesn't have that history. He doesn't have this history of, foot problems. And that doesn't mean it can't creep up and happen. But this kid, Rob, I got to take him, and I think every single team in the NBA would take him. And you even said you would take him. And I don't think they're taking him primarily out of fear that, if he stays healthy, then we
you can't. You can't make a pick and go, we didn't take him because we thought he was going to get hurt. Like you can't make that pick that based on that. You can't.
Let me ask you this.
But I do question a guy that size and if he can stay healthy.
So since you have the questions, if let's say Orlando wins the draft lottery, or any team for that matter, is there a trade you would accept for?
No, he does stuff that nobody's done, and you got to take a look at him. There's no way. You just have to.
If I offer you Luka.
No. I want to see this kid. I want to see this kid play. If you won't
take Luka, then you won't take anybody.
I'm not. I'm just not. I want to see the kid play. He's unique. He's different. Nobody does what he does at the handle of basketball, that height, and all the things he can shoot from the perimeter. Like he is a special player if all is good and he stays healthy. So I want to see him fail for myself. How's that? Does that make sense?
I'm with you.
I want to see him fail for myself.
There's no trade I'd accept for him. If I get to win the draft lottery, and Nick Wright and I were talking about this today during our breaks on First Things First, and he mentioned he would probably do it for Luka, a Giannis, and maybe Steph. There's no way I'd do it for Steph, as great as he is, and he's arguably playing the best ball of his career. But I might have Steph for 3 more good years. This kid, Rob, if he does stay healthy, I got him for 15 years.
Right.
Right? And Rob, what I always say, obviously everybody wants to win the championship. And it's painful when you have a great team and you don't win it. I was just talking to a guy in Philadelphia, and he's just crushed by what's going on with the Sixers. And I said, but look, what you want in the NBA, and let me know if you agree with this, Rob. Yes, you want to win a ring. But what you really want, since you can't guarantee a ring, I want that 5 to 10 year period where every year I'm in the mix. I'm in the conversation. We've got a legitimate chance. If we don't get over the hump and win a title, it's going to hurt. But we were there for a decade. Rob, Patrick Ewing never delivered the ring for the Knicks. You going to tell me they wouldn't die to have the Patrick Ewing era right now?
Oh, yeah, they would.
Right? Malone and Stockton never delivered Utah a ring. Utah's never won a ring. But Utah's been a great franchise. I mean, you want to win a ring, but Phoenix when they had Steve Nash, Sacramento when they had Chris Webber, they never won, but that was a great run for those teams. And
right, you want to get a championship out of it like you do. And I know we keep going back, but Chris, you know, because you spent a lot of time there during that run. But the Pistons went to 6 straight Eastern Conference, and they won a championship and went back a second year. You can't look at that era of Pistons basketball and be negative. You just can't. Am I right? They were in the Eastern Conference.
Look at
finals,
where they are
6
now,
years.
Rob.
Right.
Even if they had never won a championship, let's say they lost that series to the Lakers when they won, lost again to the Spurs, you still would. That was still a great run.
Right. And it was capped off that they did win at least one. And then, to me, I always said that they're going back the next year, Chris, kind of validated. It wasn't like they just had a lucky run and they won that 1 year. They were able to go back. And even though they didn't win and they lost in 7 games, I think that era is cemented as that was a good team, great players, and they won a championship.
Yeah. And I mean, again, look at where Detroit is now, Rob. It has been for how long now? Is it over a decade?
Yes, it's bad.
They're irrelevant. So that's my point. Like, this guy in Philly, Rob, was telling me, we back to where we were in 2011. I'm like, no, you're not. That's when they had Iguodala and Drew Holiday and got to the second round, traded them, and then started the process. I said, you didn't have any chance with that team.
Right.
Now, at least you have a legitimate superstar that every year you're in that discussion. I get it. It's painful when you don't get there. But the point is, Rob, if you get Wembanyama and he's healthy, that's now your lot for, not next year necessarily, but maybe 3-4 years from now, you're going to be right there for the next decade.